Mic check. Yep, I have you. Thank you. All right, everyone, let's get you updated here. It's now 3:30 here on WTHR Plus. I'm Sean Ash, about to step in, by the way. You know, and it actually is a relatively quiet setup for us right now. We continue to focus on what's down the road here. Slow to evolve, but the stormiest time yet to come. We're starting to see some breaks in this cloud deck. 64 in Indy, 63 in Carmel, Noblesville at 64. South of I-70 right now under a tornado watch, and that watch goes until 9 o'clock. Potentially, we could see this expanded a bit farther to the north as we go through the evening, something that we'll monitor. Even if the watch is not expanded, I do expect storm coverage to increase along the I-70 corridor as we go through later in the evening. I'll explain why here in a moment. First of all, let's set the stage with radar. So it's 64 now in Indy, 65 in Shelbyville. We're pushing 70 degrees there in Bedford. The last couple of hours, the focal point, where the more storms have been, far southern Indiana along the Ohio River. But we're starting to get into some sunshine. That's going to help destabilize a little bit. You can see the storms really pounding. Those are hailstorms that are moving through Kentuckiana, through the Louisville area. And you can see we're starting to get some of these cells that are lifting quickly to the north, but then kind of fading out, dying out, if you will. There's a little cap in the atmosphere. What we mean by that, usually as you go up in the atmosphere cools. But in the particular setup that we have right now, there's a little layer where it's actually warming. So it's almost like putting a little lid on boiling water, if you will. Now, what is going on back to the west of us? We're starting to see an increase in storm development. And I believe that is what will become our stormy evening along the I-70 corridor. And the reason I believe that is we're talking low-level wind field, so right around 5,000 feet, give or take. This is the beginning, the nose of what we call a low-level jet stream. And that wind field at that particular layer is going to increase, and it's going to spread northeast in the coming hours. You can see it starting to charge through here. As that happens, that increases the lift to overcome that cap and burst the cap. And once that happens, we should see an increase in storm coverage and intensity, okay? What I'm going to do is put that wind field back on, but then I'm going to put modeled radar over top of it so you can see how the storms start to flourish right on the nose of that jet streak, okay? You can see where they expand over the central and southern portion of the state. Just kind of a way to visualize what's going to trigger the increased storm action. Now I've got the storm threat levels. You know, level 2 bears your attention. We've got that 3 that was put out, that upgrade from earlier today, where there's a greater tornado potential. Doesn't mean we couldn't have tornadoes Indy or north. It's just that's the higher probability, not only of tornado, but maybe a strong tornado, and that's coming within that zone. Now, could there be greater storm coverage farther north of Bedford and Seymour? That's a possibility. That risk area is not necessarily for storm coverage, it's for the probability of something happening. In fact, I would argue if a cell can stay that way just by itself, it has a higher chance of producing tornadoes. Either way, this is by 8 o'clock, so we're going to start to see on that jet streak, we're really going to start to see a ramp up of storms here. as we go into 10 o'clock. And there's enough spin, even at 10, we're going to have to monitor radar like a hawk because we could still have rotation embedded within these clusters that are going to be moving through. And that's why we want you to continue to be weather aware. The closer we get to 11 p.m. midnight, severe threat will start dropping from west to east. By midnight, I would argue areas along and west of I-65, storm threat's over. It may continue until about 12 or 1 a.m. on the far eastern side of the state before this thing eventually moves out. But that means we are going to have some active radar hours as we move forward here through the evening. And so Angela and myself will continue to update if we get, I hope we don't, but if we get into a tornado situation, we'll be around the clock, or if we have severe thunderstorms, we'll be right here in WTHR Plus nonstop through the evening here. And we've got crews out. I hope that we don't have to assess any damage, but that is a possibility. Again, this is the threat level, and that yellow shade is, again, a zone of higher tornado probability. Could we have a strong tornado? It's a possibility. Can't completely rule that out. You know, look, to form a tornado, it takes a whole lot of things to happen. And if you don't have just one of them, it won't. So a lot has to come together. We had a checklist. We've got a lot of checks. We've got spin. We've got low-level moisture. We don't have crazy instability, but we have enough. And now we're just waiting on to get storms and waiting for that to happen. I think it, again, will happen with that low-level jet streak that we were talking about. This is the tornado watch once again, at least right now, goes until 9 o'clock. Bloomington, Seymour, Nashville, Bedford, Greensburg, North Vernon, Brookville until 9 p.m. But if you're anywhere in our state, that includes Crawfordsville, Noblesville, Indy metro area, you should be monitoring radar. Even if you don't get severe weather, it's pretty likely by 7 or 8 o'clock you're going to have thunder impacting if you have outdoor plans. So I know some school districts are navigating that with practices that they have this evening. Time now 3:36. Angela will have another update coming up at 4 o'clock. I'll see you at 4:30. And we will have our news starting at 5 p.m. Stay with us, stay weather aware, and we will keep you updated.